Hello, everybody. Good evening, and happy Friday night. It seems kind of strange to be live on a Friday night, but I have had the world's busiest week, and I wanted to make sure that I took a little bit of time this evening in the midst of finishing up client calls and family to-dos to do a little bit of teaching for all of us who maybe you're in chill mode tonight, or you're looking at how in the world am I going to survive the weekend. Either way, however you are honoring yourself, your rest, your recuperation this evening, we're just here to celebrate you a little bit and teach a little bit about delegating like a diva. I am Christina Garrett. I am a productivity coach, and I am very honored to support. Here we go. I'm very honored to support really amazing working mothers with all of the tools that they need to organize their busy world, to set up strategies and priority management to help you make it to your goals in half the time. I have, for the last decade plus, at least a decade, really supported and walked through this work. And so my clients are women leaders with families who are trying to figure out, how in the world do I do everything that I feel called to do? And in the midst of that, how do I show up strong for myself and my movement and a million other things too? And so, because that's the work we do here, I'm excited tonight to pop in for a little bit. I'm going to go live in our Facebook group too. But the goal for this evening is to be kind of chill, really laid back. But I wanted to make sure that I got this out of my mind and to you all before the weekend went into full party mode. Okay. If you are chiming in, hey ladies, good to see you all. We have some really big things coming up for 2025. I'm excited because our clients are really, my clients are amassing a lot of receipts from this year going into the next. And so I'm just really thrilled to see what God does as the new year comes in. I had a conversation today with one of my favorite authors, Audrea Richmond. Today we had a coffee chat. Her book is called Unclone Marketing, and she is thebomb.com. And we were just having a conversation today about how we want more ease and more relaxation and less rushing going into the new year. And I think that's all about how you set up your systems so that you are succeeding in the ways that you know you need to. Okay. All right, y'all, let's get down to the nitty gritty. I'm gonna go live in our group. And we're gonna talk about delegating like a diva this evening. For those who are new here, or maybe you're hearing just for the first time some of the work that we do, delegating is a part of the 4 pillars of productivity. All right. Because there are 4 of them, I'm going to quickly breeze over what they are, and then we're going to focus in on pillar number 3 tonight. I'm sure maybe in January, I will do a series of maybe workshops or something for teaching all 4 pillars. But in this moment, I'm going to focus in on you all's favorite pillar, which is learning to delegate with intention and with focus so that you are not spread all over the place and feeling like you don't have enough of you to go around. All right. Hey, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. So the pillars of productivity are as follows. Okay. The reason there are 4 is because I believe firmly that you cannot select sparingly how you're going to organize your life. In fact, more often than not, we have a tendency to want to zip ahead to delegating. We want to zip ahead to being a household name and, growing our goals in half the time and, being a leader and having a multi-six-figure business and all of this really good stuff. But there has to be space in your life for these things to add up. There has to be space in your life for it to happen, not in like you can't do it in a different order, but you have to be able to make sure that your life can hold. Okay, y'all hear what I'm saying? Your life can hold what your goals are asking you for. You have to make sure that your life can hold what your goals are requiring. What does that mean? That means that if you want to be the next big thing, if you see yourself walking into a season of vibrancy and thriving, and I want to be the girl that does, some ladies say TED Talks. They want to get their book on a bigger platform. They are an entrepreneur. They're an educator. They have all of these wide, beautiful dreams that are necessary. Okay, they're beautiful dreams, but you got to make sure your life has space to hold the dream. You got to make sure that you have the capacity, good evening, the capacity to do what you said you were going to do. It can be heavy sometimes. It can be heavy sometimes, okay? So the 4 pillars of productivity, I'll tell you what they are, and then we'll get down to the nitty-gritty talking about delegating, okay? So the 4 pillars of productivity are: 1, to create a family vision, okay? It needs to work for everybody in your house. Oftentimes when we are talking about developing a vision, walking it out, the vision board that's going to be on everybody's wall come January, okay? When we're looking at that aspect of our lives, we need to say, does this fit my life? Okay? Am I trying to do some things and I haven't had all of the talks, the communication that I need to in order to make it work? Okay, so I need to have a vision that I can write out, have a strategic plan for, and then begin to bring the moving pieces together so that it works. That makes sense, right? So we're creating a family vision. Number 2, we have to communicate our needs to our loved ones. Now, sometimes we communicate and it goes in and out. Okay, hey Portia, good evening, sis. I love you so much. Communicating your needs to your loved ones, it can't just be roundabout. It has to be in a way that they can both receive and respond to. And the challenge with communication, when you have this really exciting goal or you see yourself at the next level, a lot of times we go so far in to becoming this woman or becoming this person, we forgot to tell other people. Hold on, y'all. Am I done? Okay. So sometimes we forget to tell other people. So my husband, when he came to the Momathon conference this year and spoke on this exact issue, a lot of the women were like, well, how do I get my husband to be this type of man? How do I get, him to understand or support more or, give me the green light so I can stretch my wings and all of this stuff? And my husband had to break it down for him in a specific kind of way. He was like, listen, sometimes we have gone on this journey. We're embarking on this beautiful new existence. You heard that reel or that motivational Facebook Live or whatever. You're running full steam ahead to go become this person, and you have not communicated adequately to the people who are in your life that this is who I desire to become. I'm going to give you all an example. Every year when I plan the Momathon conference, y'all, no lie, I needed my family to understand why my head was down in my laptop during the day. Okay. At nighttime, I would unplug. I never went to sleep earlier than I did planning this year's conference. Okay. But in my kitchen, there's a whiteboard. And on that whiteboard was my conference budget. And my children would say, Mama, are you really, investing $20K in food and beverage? Portia, right? $20K in food and beverage? Are you really doing this? Are you really doing that? Yes. You all need to know about Mama's vision, and you need to know that when I'm working on it, this is what we're doing. So you have created a vision that your family can get on board with. And then number 2, the second pillar of productivity, you are communicating that in a way your loved ones can receive and respond to. They're able to go back and forth with you and say, you know what, that works. They're listening. You're listening. You guys are picking up what each other is putting down. I'm in your corner. Thank you for being in my corner. Here's how I can support you today. In what ways do you need support? That's communication. Okay. There are layers to that, but we're just touching on the big ones today. Okay. So we have creative vision, communicate your needs. And then number 3 is delegate unnecessary tasks. Okay. Usually the third pillar, delegating and giving stuff away to other people, is our favorite. Am I right? Right. Usually it's our favorite thing to do because there is something ingrained on the inside of us. Hi, Sherry. Thanks for joining us. There's something that sits on the inside of us where we want to give things to others, almost like this is the life I'm supposed to be living. Okay. I'm supposed to be living the soft life. I'm supposed to be on a journey of ease and flow. I'm supposed to be that girl. And of course, that girl has somebody that takes care of all of the unwanted areas in her life. That's how we define delegating. Okay. Instead, I want to transform how we think about delegating, because sometimes it can be challenging for us as women to let things go fully. And we want to delegate before it's our time. Okay, we want to delegate before it's our time. However, I believe that in order for you to have a capacity that is wide open, in order for you to do big things in the world unapologetically, in order for you to hit your goals and do it in half the time, in order for you to stretch your wings and not have all that mind drama about, am I enough? Do I have enough time? Is there enough of me to go around? Instead of all of that, we want to move some of those things that we're doing off our plate. Okay, so tonight our focus is delegating. That's pillar number 3. The fourth pillar of productivity is to elevate. Okay, to elevate your dreams, your goals, your passion, your mission, your nonprofit, your movement, your organization, your business, all of that, honey, to take it to the next level. And so my clients are running for office. They're on television as experts. They are on CBS and Essence and Forbes. I've done Red Table Talk and Forbes and Essence multiple. Like, it's not just about, hey, Portia, it's not just about the idea. Okay. It's about shaping your life, shaping your family, shaping your schedule to hold it. It can hold my dream, but I have to make sure that I'm creating space. I got to make sure I'm creating space. Y'all hear me? It can't just be, I saw this Instagram reel and they're talking about self-care, don't care. So now I'm just going to toss things to the wind. Okay. If you're called to be a mom entrepreneur, called to be a woman leader who's leading a movement, that's who I'm talking to tonight. That's who I'm talking to tonight. I'm talking to the women with big ideas, with more kids than they have hands, okay? Less hours in a day because we're trying to juggle and make it all work together. That's who I'm talking to tonight. The one who says, I know I'm a big deal. I don't need anybody to hype me up. I don't need anybody to fluff me. I don't need anyone to tell me this idea is going to change the world. I already know that. Okay. But from that place, I get to elevate my ideas, my mission, my purpose, because I got boundaries and I have balance. Because I know exactly what I'm working on and I have a target and I can hit that target because I've created a vision. I've communicated my needs to the people around me. I delegate like a diva and I elevate. I dream bigger than I ever have before. I'm dreaming bigger than I ever have before. Somebody was asking me about my plans for 2025 and, what's Momathon going to be doing? And I kind of laughed to myself. I said, like the Pinky and the Brain answer, what are you going to do in 2025? The same thing I do every year. Take over the world. The same thing we do all the time. Show up bigger, do more TV, right? Do more media opportunities, do more speaking, double the conference, all of this. It's the same thing that I always do, right? So we're leaning into that as part of our work. Okay. All right. So I have like a whole presentation on this, but I'm not going to do the presentation. I'm just going to talk to y'all if that's okay. All right. I'm going to redefine delegating for everybody. Okay. Because it's necessary. We need it. We need to be able to hear it from a fresh perspective. And it's not just, It's not just giving things away to somebody else, all right, for somebody else to do it. And then it also cannot just be the first thing we do. Many times we want delegating to be our primary thing so that we can take our time and our energy and go do all the things we want to do. Okay. So learning to delegate takes a few things, and I'm going to lay this out in a 1, 2, and 3 way, right? When you're learning to delegate early in your journey, it's going to require some intentional planning. All right. Nobody is coming to rescue you. Nobody's coming to save you magically. Your family, your friends, the people on your team, they're not psychic. They don't automatically know where you are as a person. Okay. Delegating is going to take some focus. You are literally learning to replace yourself. Somebody put in the comments, delegating is replacing myself. It's me saying, you know what? I could be doing this, but I'm making the choice to put someone else in this position for the time being. Can you trust yourself to document your methods, your systems that you use every single day so that you can pass the baton on to somebody else? I'm talking to one of my clients. She has a very successful agency, multiple employees. She does all the things. And I told her, I said, you have to go back and look for where were the places where I skipped a step? Where were the areas where I hired someone and I skipped a step? Okay, because you got to be able to go in and document the methods and the systems that you use all the time so that you can pass the baton to somebody else. Okay. And so if you're here, most likely it's because you're a superhero in all of the things that you do. Okay. You are a superstar. You feel the call in your life to change the world. You have a passion and a dream that's larger than life, or you just really want to be very impactful and influential in the work you do. But like being a superhero, being a superstar, showing up and being that person in the world can be exhausting. Okay. It also means that you have limited time. Because if you're a superwoman, you can jump from here to there to there to there at the speed of light. But none of us are actually that person. Okay. So you got to be able to say, you know what, here's some places where I want to make some amendments. Let's define delegation together. Delegating is, and I'm about to read it from the definition, to entrust a task or responsibility to another person, typically who is less senior than yourself. Delegating does not mean the person you give it to is less important. It means that maybe in this area, they are not the primary problem solver. In this area of managing the house, my kids are actually cleaning right now. In this particular area, I've chosen to no longer be the primary problem solver. I have chosen to give this away to someone who this isn't their normal role or the role that we have assigned them, but I need you to take this on and I'm going to entrust you with this task. All right. Now let's get some myths out the way in case any of us are working through it. All right. Most of the ladies here in this tribe, we love the Lord, we love our families, and we don't play about our business. Okay. So we identify as the virtuous woman. Okay. But here's the thing about the virtuous woman. Sis was a delegator, right? She was a delegator. Like she did not grab a hold of, I'm here to do all the things. Now, granted, we might see the virtuous woman as multiple women, or here's multiple roles that a woman could do if she were virtuous. But in many of these roles, she operated as a leader in her family, as a leader in her community, as a leader in business. She was a delegator. There were multiple places in Proverbs 31 where they showed we, not I, or we, not her, or they, not just one individual. She gets up while it is still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her servants. Proverbs 31:15. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. Does she work the whole vineyard? No. Proverbs 31:14. She's like a merchant ship. She brings her food from afar. Proverbs 14:1. She builds her house. There are multiple places in the word, right, where we talk about it can't just be a me thing. It can't just be a one single person thing. Instead, I have to learn to give some stuff away. All right. So let's move into what delegating requires. This is the good stuff. Okay. If you're going to delegate, if you're going to work on your dreams, your goals, your vision in a really powerful way this year and going into next year. Okay. This is what we want to make sure that we're pouring into our work. Because a lot of times we want to do big things, but we feel like I got it. I can handle it. And we forget that in order for me to be in position for bigger stuff, I have to make sure that I'm working in order. Good evening. Okay. We got to make sure that we're working on the right stuff. So number one thing that delegating requires, okay? Delegating requires figuring out what I can give away and what I can't. Okay. If I was sharing my screen tonight, I would show you a picture of me and my chocolate husband. Okay. Or I would show you a picture of me and my 5 amazing, but very loud children. And I would remind you that you cannot delegate how you love on them. I would remind you that no one else is your family's biggest cheerleader. No one else is your family's the matriarch of the family at your house. Nobody else can do this for you. So you can't give away hyping up your man and telling him he smells good before he leaves the house. So sorry. You can't delegate affirming and guiding your children, having those conversations that make you want to tear your hair out, especially if you have teenagers. Can't delegate that. I know you want to. I know we want to be able to go and sit in a bubble sometimes and really soak in who I want to be and where I'm going. But we got to make sure that we sit down and we do that work. What is it that my husband is asking of me? Okay. What is it that my family needs more of me about? Okay. And am I willing to be that person? Am I willing to do that extra work? Okay. So we have to make sure that we're leaning to the other side. Sometimes we're off kilter. Sometimes we're off balance. So I want you guys to make a list. If you want to ask your husband today, what if you had to list 3 things that really make you feel loved, what would they be? All right. I could probably think of one of them that we definitely can't delegate. Okay. Because we don't get down like that. All right. So that's one thing. But what are a couple other ways that you really feel loved throughout the week, or that I can show you that you're loved throughout the week? Okay. If you can lean into that, that's going to be really powerful. In what ways do I need to show my children that I'm present and I love them? Sometimes for my kids, it's just me slowing down and having those conversations and laughing with them and listening to all of their stories, even though they're homeschooled. And I'm like, how do you still have something else to talk about? That's important to them. So I really sit with, is it working, and how do we need to do that? Okay. I know you cannot delegate having vision. Some of us want someone else to tell us the game plan so we can run with it. And sometimes I got to rain on somebody's parade by asking them, what do you want for yourself? I don't get to tell you, what your purpose is. I can strategize with you to make it happen faster in a healthy way, and you being a very grounded leader. But no one else can tell you what your purpose is. God had to tell you that. So you can't delegate that away to any consultant, any coach, any therapist. That's part of your inner work. And then as you work to refine that, then we can put some gusto behind it. But you cannot delegate being a loving wife if you are one, co-parenting in a healthy way, You can't delegate being present for your family, and you cannot delegate having vision. Okay? You can't delegate having vision. How did I do that? Okay? Here's something else that delegation requires. Number 2, delegating requires time. Okay? It takes time for you to pinpoint your strategic systems. It takes time for you to document the methods that you use every day. It takes time for you to communicate those methods to other people. All right. So this could be an example of this could be my kids. I had to show them how to clean the kitchen in a way that was acceptable. Okay. I had to show them how to do that. It did not happen overnight. I wish I could have said I told them once and all of a sudden they picked it up and it was no problem. No. Sometimes there are still moments where I have to come in, usually with just one particular child, and say, hey, bro, you didn't finish this all the way. You got to make sure you wipe out the sink or do these other things. That's what a finished kitchen day requires. And so there will be moments where you are, kind of going back and forth between those two things. You got to make sure you document it. You have to make sure that you communicate the methods in a healthy way. Have you written it out? When I brought my virtual assistant on, I had to show her how to replace me. I had to go through the process of giving her my login stuff, right? My email passwords, my stuff to my calendar, all of these things so that she could begin to do that work and replace me in that way. All right. So it takes time for you to teach people. It takes time for you to pinpoint those systems in your life, in your family, documenting the methods that you use so that you can give it away to somebody else, so you can have a team one day. Are you preparing now for your team? And so we got to make sure that as we analyze, as we're looking to, do bigger things and show up, it's like, wait a second, I'm not documenting how I leveled up. I'm not documenting what it would take for somebody else to do this job. Have you taught your kids how to make a tried and true stir fry for dinner so that no matter what, we can have tacos or stir fry or Alfredo, which is what they're doing tonight? Have I laid that out? If you haven't, then we're missing a really key component. Okay. So number 1, identify what you cannot delegate. Can't delegate being a loving partner, can't delegate being the matriarch of your family and being present, and you can't delegate having vision. All right. Number 2 is delegating takes time. It takes time for you to have someone replace you in an efficient way. Number 3, delegating requires training. Now, I hinted on this with number 2, but sometimes I don't think everybody really receives this when I say this on purpose. You have to train people. Like, when was the last time we documented out or wrote out for the people in our world, that this was something that was necessary? Okay. This is how you do it. This is how you make it happen. Hey, girl. Hey, you have to make sure that is listed. Okay. You got to make sure we wrote it out. And then, have I taken the time and trained? So, for example, on the whiteboard in my kitchen, there will be a list of what it takes to have a finished kitchen day. That's just one example. I'm using house cleaning because a lot of times that's what we really, really want to get rid of. We want somebody else to do that. So I had to slow down and document what a finished kitchen day looks like. What does a finished bedroom look like? What does a finished living room, dining room look like in my house? Okay, I'm just talking about my house. With my assistant, right? What does it look like for her to come into my systems, all right? Into my CRM where we process, contracts and invoices and emails and all those things. That's the coaching side, the consulting side, and say, hey, go into my calendar. This is how you do that. Close these things out. Hey, I'm going to be traveling. We just came back from DC for the National Black Caucus of State Legislators, right? Girl, I need you to go in and close the calendar for this day and this day. Email these clients and tell them whatever, right? There's a process. It took time for me to train her to do that. Now, she came in with some skills already, okay? But I got to make sure that I have documented my process, Christina's process, to make sure that it's working. Okay, to make sure that it's working, because often we just want to give stuff away so we can go be a butterfly and stretch our wings and live our best life. Flag on the play. Okay, hold up, wait a minute. Hey, ladies, wait a second. We can't just give it away yet. I was talking with the ladies who were at the conference. No, Audrey Richmond. She gave us books at the conference this year, which was so generous of her. And while we were talking, we were hinting at the idea of women with families who are leaders, and how a lot of times we just, we start following the wrong people on Instagram, and we start seeing these self-care, don't care reels and all this kind of stuff. And we start running our life like, what family? What family? And your husband is like, listen, I see you up all night. This us, okay? Typing at the computer, trying to finish yet one more thing, staying up late, waking up early, gotta do it, gotta overcome. All right. And our balance is off kilter. It's out of alignment. It's out of alignment. We're so on all the time, on as a mom, on as a business owner, on because we're trying to manage this and handle that. We're on so much. It feels like our life is on fire. We're just going from one place to another, putting out fires. Delegating helps you to resolve that. Okay, it helps you to leave some things on the shelf or on the table for another time, but it also reminds you of what's most important. Can't delegate. Listen, for those who get down with the get down, that's not our tribe. Okay, we can't delegate who gonna be in the bed with your husband tonight. Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? Okay, we can't delegate that. I don't want nobody else having that job. Okay, that's a problem if somebody else has that job. You can't delegate that. So what can I delegate? Have I made a list? Have I identified that? And then have I adequately trained the people in my world to accommodate that? Okay, have I adequately said, hey, this is what it looks like for it to be finished? Okay, sometimes we want to skip over the training part. And I'm here today to remind us, you can't go be that girl, that stunner, okay, that's sunshiner, okay. I can't go be that person in the world and I'm trying to micromanage. I also can't be that person in the world if I'm trying to do everything. Okay. Somebody asked me, and this is on topic, but a little bit off. Somebody asked me this week, well, how are you doing all of that? I said, well, all of what? I was trying to identify, like, what do you mean? And she was like, well, I know you coach like crazy. I was like, and I do. She said, I see the conference and I know that takes so much effort and like so much from you. It does. It is a labor of love. And she said, but I also see you traveling to speak and you're doing this. I need a husband like your husband because he's just so 1, 2, and 3. I said, he is all of that and then some. He's a chocolate, just good to me. Okay. He is all of that. But I also really leaned into the pillars of productivity to make sure that we can maintain our relationship. And I promise you, I have never gone to bed earlier than I have this year. I've never built out bigger partnerships and, work with national organizations and all this amazing stuff. And my clients are shining and all this good stuff. But I have also really disciplined myself not to overwork. And not to take on projects. Y'all hearing me? Not to take on projects that are out of alignment with where I see myself going. I constrained. Y'all hear me? I constrained. Somebody say constrained. I constrained. I brought it all together. Is this idea for now? Is this idea for 6 months from now? A year from now? Like, I want to start a podcast. I was telling the ladies at the conference. I said, I want to start a podcast, y'all. And I will. But right now, I'm like, oh, that's not something that that I need to be 10 toes down on in this exact moment. I will start a podcast. It will happen. It's on the list. I'm gonna write a book. It's on the list. But when we talk about delegating, when we're talking about what's in front of me right now, some of us really struggle, excuse me, with streamlining. We struggle with streamlining. See, delegating is one of the pillars of productivity. It's one sector. Because in order for you to have a life that can hold your goals and an existence that is full of capacity, full of space, I have time, I have energy, I got this. In order to be that woman, you got to add it all together. You can't just, oh, I'm going to delegate everything, honey, because my husband just needs to understand that I'm a woman on the move. You can be on the move. We glad you're changing the world. Are we delegating some things we aren't supposed to be delegating? Have we communicated in a successful way that he can receive and respond to? Have we laid out for him, this is the vision? When I talked to one of the ladies that's watching tonight on a discovery call before, her word was expansion. Have we talked about expansion in the family meeting? Have we discussed all of this? If I want to, rearrange my life, have I done that in a successful way that when they see me working or they see me, mapping things out on the whiteboard in the kitchen, everybody in the family knows what's up. Oh, baby, it's August. Mama's in the Momathon conference tunnel. All right. I got to get this done. I got to get that done. And then when the work day is over, it's over real gangster like. Like I'm talking about walked out from my office space, went and changed my clothes. And I would tell my event planner, girl, I'm taking my bra off. I am not available. The bra's coming off. I'm not available for any conference talk. I'm laying on the couch. I'm gonna put my cold feet on my husband. Okay. And that's it. I'm gonna watch movies with my kids. That's it. I had to make the decision. Where's my energy gonna go? Okay, so I need to be present for my mom. I got some energy for that. We're homeschooling or taking kids to programs where they can learn. Okay, I got energy for that. Okay, my husband is all chocolate. I got to make sure I jump on him a couple times that week. I'm going to save some energy for that. Got to show up and serve my clients in a really dope way. Got some energy for that. Going to organize my favorite room in my house. I got energy for that. We ain't going to organize all the rooms. Anybody got time for all the rooms? Okay. And then together with my kids, we crawl into the laundry pile on the couch and we lay down and we rest. And they feel hugged on, loved on, affirmed. They feel like their mother is present. I'm not going to be standing up next to the couch fussing about the laundry and how everything in my life is broken. I'm just not going to do that. We're going to opt out of that belief. Okay, we're going to opt out of the idea that somehow, y'all hear me, somehow, someday, your family will stop wearing clothes. They're not going to stop wearing clothes. As soon as you feel like you're done or closer or finished, baby, they're gonna take a shower and give you more laundry. So you might as well just wait and not even worry about it. Do the things that matter first. Do the things that call your name the loudest. Do the things that add to your family's bottom line. All this other stuff, that's where the delegating superpower really comes in. Okay. So I hear somebody saying in my spirit, Christina, you have 3 high schoolers, 2 smaller children, but they're elementary age. What about the mamas whose kids are little? Okay. I hear it in my spirit. If that's you, say amen. I just heard it. My advice to those who have smaller kids, all right? Number 1, if your children can speak English, like they understand when you're talking to them, begin the process of teaching them to help out around the house, okay? My littlest guy, who is 6 now, when he was 2, 3, and 4, it was, Levi, pick the trash up off the floor. Here's the bag. Here's how you can help. It was, hey, children, mama has a coaching call, a speaking engagement. I'm going to go in the office space. I need you guys to keep your little brother and keep him quiet. Okay. Not like put him in a chokehold quiet, but entertain him for the next hour so I can do what I need to do. Okay. There were moments where I had to connect with my husband and say, baby, I don't have it in me. I was a really amazing mom today. I was a really amazing business owner today, but I was not a really amazing chef. Okay. Y'all hearing me? Portia said, it's me, oh Lord. Okay. I got to tell my husband, baby, I was really amazing in this way, this way, and this way. I was not an amazing chef. Can you bring wings home? Can you bring a hot and ready for the kids? Please. That $5 hot and ready was saving lives. Y'all hear me? So sometimes we got to look at what are all the things on the plate. I really knocked this out. I really did this. I'm not sure about this other thing over here. Okay. So that's where I would reach out. Remember, the definition of delegating is to entrust a task to someone who at that moment, this is not their primary role. It's not their primary role, okay? So maybe usually you're the one who is the primary dinner fixer, okay? But in order for me to delegate that, hey, baby, listen, I did this, but this right here did not get done, okay? Do you think you can help me here? That's where we begin to look at, letting go of our superwoman ego-ness, okay? Being able to step away from being the primary problem solver for all the things. Okay. Portia said, listen, DoorDash and Uber Eats be on their stuff. They earning their money. Cause baby, I ain't got it. I didn't cook nothing. There's nothing. I can't tell y'all how many times my kids are older, but I walk through the kitchen. I don't know what y'all eating. Lord have mercy. Y'all better go in there and figure it out. And everybody has a common, I do cook multiple days a week, I swear. But it's like a common, mama, are we on our own tonight? On our own tonight means y'all go in there and make a quesadilla. Y'all going to, y'all having oatmeal for dinner? Ramen noodles? I don't know. Levi cannot reach the microwave. Y'all go ahead and make sure y'all put him some ramen noodles in the microwave. Okay. That's how we live over here. All right. I choose not to hover over all the things. I've been a really great mom. I've been a really great business owner. The house doesn't look destroyed, but maybe I'm not cooking dinner. Okay. Or the days when I'm cooking dinner and I'm a total baddie in the kitchen and I'm making, chicken and dumplings and lasagna and all this great stuff. Oh, I'm going to bed early. Oh, I did my good mom stuff. Don't ask me for nothing else. You feel me? Like I'm going to pull that ratio of excellence and I'm going to move it wherever it needs to go. I'm okay with that. Can you all be okay with that? Can you all say with me that I will not try to be 100%? I'm going to let my ratio move from place to place depending on where it needs to go. When I realized I didn't have the same level of stamina, Portia, for all the homeschooling things, we went and found a co-op where they can glitterify and paint at the co-op. I hate glitter in my house. But it's a place for them to go and do those things. Okay. That's me moving my 100%. What percentage of my time is me homeschooling my children? How can I offset that so I have a little bit more time, but they still get what they need? Delegating is all about entrusting tasks so that you have more space for the things that you need to do and want to do. Okay. So number one, identify what you can't delegate. If you had to speak love, affirmation, and encouragement to the people that live with you, what would those things need to be? You can't delegate all of that, mama. You got to hold on to some of that for yourself. Okay. Number two, delegating takes time. If you have been the primary problem solver in your life, in your family for a decade, you've been putting out fires in your family for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And somehow you feel like because you decided you want to live a life filled with ease and flow that is just supposed to turn on and off like a light switch. Oop, flag on the play. The productivity coach got to tell you, hey, wait a second, we got to do something different. You have to choose that it takes time for us to have that shift. Okay. Number 3, delegating takes training. Okay. Takes training. So you have to be able to say to yourself, I know that my family can handle doing more chores around the house. Even if they're small, they can handle it. Okay. I can bring on staff to help me handle affairs in my absence. One of my clients, she runs a bookkeeping and accounting business agency, and she has a whole staff in the Philippines, honey. Whole staff in the Philippines. And she's like, they are amazing and they do all the things that I need them to do. So bring people on to support you as your capacity emotionally, mentally, physically, financially can handle it. Learn how to automate. Okay. Learn how to automate things. Sometimes that's systems, sometimes it's not. But rest in the fact that you will have to train your support squad. Okay. They won't just know magically exactly what you need from them. And then last but not least, okay, we're coming up on our time. Delegating takes trust. I want y'all to lean in for this. Okay. Delegation takes trust. You have to trust that the people in your life really do want what's best for you. You got to trust that, like, even if your husband doesn't know how to communicate it, usually if you married a jerk, you knew this early on. Okay. You knew how he was. Okay. Early on. Most of us, our husbands genuinely do want us to feel purposeful, rested, intentional. They want us to feel loved. They have a heart for the family. Okay. Most of us, that's our situation. So when I have a mom that comes to me and they may be in a challenging marital season, sometimes I like to remind them, that you married him. He had a heart for family. You felt like you could trust him with your future. That's why you said yes. So maybe this is a kink in the communication versus he doesn't want what's best for you. He doesn't want to help you. Sometimes we have to be able to communicate that better. And then trust that the people in our life actually do want to support us. We have to trust that if it didn't work before, even as a result of you hearing me talk about this today, you are now a different person. Okay. So maybe you're looking for the places where, your husband really does need more support, or your kids need more support, or I can give this away in my business, or streamline and remove this altogether in the business that I'm building. But even if it didn't work before, now you are a different person. Even as a result of hearing this training today, hearing this live, just me popping up, okay? You're different now, so your results are going to be different. You got to go back and try again, friend. You got to go back and say, you know what? I can do this. I can slow down and remove the superwoman cape and say, I'm taking my crown off for all the things. I just want to wear the crown sometimes. Okay. I had a conversation with my husband this week. It was just rough emotionally. And I just, crawled, laid up on the couch and put my head on his shoulder. And I cried a little bit. And then I, just was in the presence of not being the strong one. You know what I mean? Like, I just take that off daily. I'm like, help me daily. Okay. And that's one reason that I'm able to conserve my energy and, show up in the evening time like it's early in the morning, because I've worked on being that person. I consistently look for places where I cannot be the Supergirl. So even if it didn't work before, even if you're saying right now, Christina, I tried all of this. I tried to bring somebody on. I gave it time. Is a week enough time? That's what you mean, right? Nope, that's not what I mean. I mean, take time and train until it's done. Until you can give it away to somebody else and there's no drama. I'm talking about you sit in it and work on it and do your inner work until it's fixed, until it's resolved. And then when you see it starting to come undone again, you step in and you engage in the chaos and you put it back together again. That's what I mean. That you sit in it until it's working. Until you say, whose kitchen, like I do, whose kitchen day is it? Come on in and do the kitchen. And I don't have to follow up behind them all the time to say, oh, you forgot the sweet. Okay. And I also really want to affirm us that your vision, like what you see for yourself, what you see for your future as you build a movement. I know one of our sisters here, she does some really amazing things in maternal health. Another sister is doing some amazing things in terms of alternate forms of education. Your vision is meant to be big. Like, I don't think you should be listening to anybody that doesn't feel like you aren't the cat's meow. Okay. I don't have any ladies that come here to this space, to the conference, to Facebook Lives, to coaching and consulting with me, like any of it. I don't have any ladies that find their way here and they're not a big deal. That I know for sure. Okay. So you have to work this process. You have to identify what's important to your family and delegate the rest. You got to see what's important to your business, to your systems, to all these things. You got to look at it because your vision is dependent on you bringing in support. Right now, my event coordinator, Teresa, she's on the hunt. She's doing all the things as we prepare for Momathon Conference 2025. And when we have dates, I'll let y'all know. But we're doing contracts and all the stuff for our venue and all of these back and forths. Okay. She's a part of my team. My assistant, a part of my team. I just text her, can you do this stuff? So that I can show up. And, Fridays are like my client coaching days. Tuesdays and Fridays. I mean, my schedule is like boom, 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 boom in the best way. And the reason that I have it set up like that is because Monday, I'm somebody's mama. Wednesday, I'm someone's mama and pastor's wife. Thursday, I'm a co-op mom for the homeschooling co-op. So I set things up to support my life. Okay. So I want to affirm in you, remind you, sis, your vision is meant to be big. And it will require more hands than just yours. Okay. So when you delegate, you have better self-care, you have better rest, you have bigger abundance, you have more space in your life to say yes to the things that matter most to you. And then you get to stretch your wings and you get to thrive. Okay. So you identify the places in your life where you cannot delegate. As a partner, as a family woman, you can't delegate your vision. And then delegating takes time, it takes training, it takes trust. Okay. So those are our 4 parts of delegating for tonight. Now, what happens next? Okay. Some of you have come around and gathered around here because you are a woman leader and you are growing. Okay, you are determined to go into the new year with all of the tools and all the strategies and this level of readiness because your vision is big. It's supposed to be larger than life. You're supposed to be the woman that goes after it and gets it done. You're supposed to be the one who takes a moment, troubleshoots, resets, and then goes full steam ahead. Okay. And so starting in January, it's December now, I'm getting ready to close down for vacation. But after vacation, we're going to be opening up the Momathon Mastermind. Okay. This mastermind is for women, moms on the move. Okay. You got to be on the move. With all love and respect, I'm going to say this. It's not necessarily for those who are trying to find their way in the world. You have an idea. You have a business that's working. Okay. You have created momentum behind your idea. You have an organization. It's already there in place. Okay. And so the focus is creating a community, developing the community of really dynamic women who want to break their plateau. Okay. And you're creating momentum behind the work that you want to do. It's for women who want to expand their bandwidth. I've been talking a lot about capacity, who want more time, more rest. You want to create more, serve more, impact more, earn more. You want more peace. Okay, you want to be able to have gratitude because what you put out into the world, you're actually doing and creating. And you really want to hit like, how high can I go for real? Like, how can I do this for real? You can. And so we're having ladies coming in, some who are in phase 1, phase 2 of starting their business, developing their ideas. But we also have women in our client community who are attorneys, doctors, psychiatrists, therapists. They are counsel women, they are educators, they are school starters. Okay, they're women who are grabbing their goal by everything, with everything they have. And they want to make sure they're putting their energy into the right places. Okay. I have seen across the board, I know this to be true, that it takes 6 months to stretch. Okay. It takes 6 months. It just does. Okay. It takes time for us to learn to delegate. It takes time for us to operate in clarity. It takes time for us to press fast forward because we don't want it to take until 2027 to do really great things. Okay. I'm also a big fan of mixing together multiple styles of coaching support. And so the mastermind this year is going to have both a group aspect where we meet every week. Okay. I'm going to be speaking, training, answering questions, giving you guys everything I have, the best that I got for those 6 months to make sure you have the tools you need to grow and develop. But then you also get one-to-one coaching support too. So every month we're getting on Zoom and we're going to work on exactly what you need. Nobody else, doesn't have to be in living color, but it's for those who have their goals. They're working through it. And they're like, Christina, can you put your eyes on my proposal? Christina, can you put your eyes on my pitch? Christina, can you put your eyes on this right here so that I can flesh it out and develop it? That's for those women. Okay, who know that they need that accountability, that strategy, that support. All right. I am someone, I know often building big things takes years, but if I can cut the time down and do the big thing without overwhelming myself, I am always down for the cause. And so I can attest that coaching has helped me cut the learning curve exponentially. I don't spend time overthinking like I used to. I don't spend time trying to be a perfectionist like I used to. Even me changing the time of this live tonight and saying, hey, I love y'all. I'll see y'all at 6:30. That was like let's just get it done. Let's connect. Let's talk about what's going on in your world. I don't operate in cloudiness or procrastination like I used to because I'm always thinking about the bigger goal. Now at this phase of my journey, I'm able to nix the mind drama, right? Like all of us have it. All of us have those moments of trying to figure out, am I in the right place? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? How do you know what idea is for now and which one needs to go on the shelf for later? Like that alone is a challenge to decipher through. Okay. And so that's the purpose of coaching, to help you iron out what's for now, what's for later, what can my family handle? And if I'm ready to stretch and grow, how can I do that without burnout? Okay. So this is 6 months, January to June 2025. It is business growth, career growth, self-care, productivity, time management. It is women leaders with families who are prioritizing what matters most. It is learning how to execute without overwhelm. It is learning how to pitch and do proposals that are sexy. It is learning how to grab and create opportunities, not just wait for lightning to strike for them to come to you. It is coaching and consulting combined together at its finest. I'm going to give you guys everything that I know that has helped me to create relationships with Hyatt Hotels, the Housing Authority, Essence Magazine 6 times, Fox News, Red Table Talk, CNN. I got clients in CBS, Pop Sugar, Essence 2. We just do big things. I got clients that are monthly reoccurring experts on TV shows. Once you get out of your own way, there's some really amazing things that are on the other side. I feel like if you can come up with the idea, we can help you get there. But most of the time, what slows us down is the overthinking, is the perfectionism, is the procrastinating and putting it off a month, 2 months while we figure it out and make it perfect. Like those things slow us down. Okay. So my goal coaching in 2025 is to help more women in leadership do what they said they were going to do. Stretch their wings and grow and take care of themselves and go to sleep on time at night. Okay. If you feel like this is where you need to be, all right, I need you to either comment mastermind below. All we're going to do is set up a time to talk, you and me. Okay. All we're going to do is set up a time to chat. Some of my clients want one-to-one coaching the whole way through. Okay. 6 months, a year of one-to-one coaching. That's available to you. Okay. But at the same time, some of us know we'll thrive in a group. And so this is one of the initiatives that I created to make sure in between this year's conference and next year's conference, in between last year's conference and this year's conference, that we didn't lose our momentum. We didn't lose our excitement. Okay. And so if that's you, if you're curious, you have questions, you're like, Christina, I just want to share my ideas and get them out from in here and in here to somebody who can handle it, to somebody who's going to be excited about it. Because sometimes you tell people stuff and they're not excited. They don't feel like it's unlimited possibilities. I do. Okay. I do feel excited. I do feel like you are that girl and you're ready for some really big things. Okay. You know that too. Even if we're working on the full development of it, you know it too. And so this is your invitation to just get on a coffee chat. That's it. We can talk about what you're working on, what you want to create in the new year. We can decide, do you need 6 months of one-on-one because you got a whole lot going on? All right. Or do you want to go into the mastermind? Which one is the right fit for you? Okay. Either one, you have payment options. You got all the things. The biggest thing is, are you a yes? Okay. Do you feel like you're in the right place and you need a coach who values what you value? I had one of our mastermind ladies, when we talked, she said, people don't talk enough about coach hurt. How you show up looking for something and you don't get what you came for. And I told her, I said, I do everything in my power to be the person that's here. I'm very communicative. My clients, when they're pitching for big opportunities, they email the stuff over to me ahead of time so I can give them my thoughts, right? So it's a mixture in between coaching, working on our mindset, skill set, inner work, but it's also consulting too. Hey, this is how I set up pitches, emails so that it's fruitful, right? I teach like the 10K email strategy where you send this email, you'll get a response back. This email got me $10,000. Okay. I teach that to my clients, but they can take that information and use it again and again. I teach you how to be your own publicist. Okay. So this is after you've created a vision and you're communicating well with your family and you're delegating because you're ready to elevate your mission and your movement. Oh, sis, we got you covered. An amazing publicist who takes your stuff for you is $3,000 to $5,000 a month. I'll teach you how to do it yourself. Okay. All the logos that I have accumulated over the years have come from me learning how to master creating amazing relationships myself. I had to do it. I couldn't pay anybody to do it for me, to just take my stuff and just run with it. I had to learn how to do it for myself. And so Momathon is bringing together all of the moving pieces of who you are, all the pieces of where you are emotionally, spiritually, physically, in your business, so that we show you how to knock that joint out. Okay. So I'm excited to see what 2025 will bring all of us. And I will be honored to do that work with you. Okay. So after this is over, if you want to be discreet, you can just message me. If you are feeling audacious and you know this is for you, I want you to put in the comments, mastermind. Let's create some magic together. All right. But the vision, the goal is this. that you have the tools, the accountability, the strategic planning that you need to do what you said you were going to do. All right, to finish strong. I realized that I needed more support to make sure that I could become, that all my capacity wasn't spent on all of these other things. I had to make sure that I did that. And so maybe that's a challenge for you too. It's okay. Imposter syndrome, and I taught this a while back. It shows up as procrastination, perfectionism, people pleasing. It shows up as paralysis, where we just are stuck in the same place for an extended period of time, almost afraid to make a decision. That's how it shows up for us. And so the goal of coaching is to get you out of there so that you can go shine in the world as a woman leader. Okay. So that's it for today. Thank y'all for joining me to talk about delegating. And of course, if you want to set up a time to talk about what ideas you're working on for the new year, how you want to do some big things. I want to say there's a link already there in some of the comment sections. Who knows? But if you message me, I'm just going to respond with a time, with a link that will let you book a call. I have it wide open for the next week before Christmas, okay? So that you can give yourself the ultimate gift, which is you saying yes to what you want and then figuring out how you're going to make it work together with your family, okay? All right, guys, that's it for today. I love y'all so much. Thank you for being here, hanging out with me and joining me. And if no one else has told you yet today, sis, you are that girl. You are brilliant, purposeful, intentional, dynamic. Okay. You are disciplined. Everything that you put your hands to will prosper. It will work. The idea will work. Okay. We just got to make space internally. We got to do our inner work, our mindset work, our skill set work, so that we become the woman that finishes what she starts. Okay. Thank y'all for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to delegate like a diva. All right.